There is a few problems with the AMG, and it is what it is basically. So all the lines for the oil cooler, as you can see, are very, very corroded. So I'd imagine that was probably leaking. So that's probably going to need doing. We do have the uprated Bosch pump. I don't trust it though, because it's all corroded. We've got loads of overspray everywhere. This is going to the supercharger. So I presume there's supposed to be some sort of filter or something along those lines here. That's missing, the bracket's all bent. That is the silencer for the air compressor, and literally I just went and it fell off. So that would explain why that's so noisy. Gearbox wise, it is slightly annoying. Obviously the oil cooler lines are out. The exhaust is out, the prop is off, and we are pretty much ready to go. So I'm just going to drop the box, but there is one big problem, and I will show you that problem when we get the box out. So to the untrained eye, including myself, there's not really anything wrong with this box. I mean, theoretically, like there's nothing that's giving it away, nothing that screams out, this is a problem. But when you look at that part number, which is covered up, so that's a bit better. So when you actually look at this part number, that is not an AMG gearbox. So that'd be why it drove absolutely fine, and now there's metal everywhere, because basically the internals of an AMG gearbox are completely different to anything else. So as far as I'm aware, and this is because I've spoken to Mercedes themselves, the compressor has a different gearbox to even the non-compressor one because of the torque. So the one that I want is completely different, 140-270-2601. Now I've had a look, that's for a C180 compressor, E320 and an E220. So it's completely wrong. There's no way that box can handle that torque. Maybe the power, but not the torque. So this is what's wrong. So there's me messing around with all of this, thinking that it could be something like that. I was going to rebuild this gearbox as well. But basically, there's no point in me rebuilding this gearbox because it's a completely wrong one. So £1,000 later, I have ordered a second-hand gearbox from Latvia. So I'm just munching on a biscuit. So it is now two weeks later, and the gearbox has arrived. But obviously there's a few other bits and pieces that we need to do before the gearbox goes in, i.e. rear main, input seal. So what do I mean by rear main? So the rear main is basically the seal that basically is where the crankshaft is. There's a seal that goes around it like an oil ring. Now, it is a little bit weepy. It's not drastic, but I think that whoever put that gearbox in, shame on you for a start, as I'd like to think has done the rear main, but I doubt it. So I've ordered a new Mercedes one. So I'm just going to rip this gear, I'm just going to take this flywheel out and then we'll get the seal off. So rear main is out. I am not going to show you how I do it because I don't recommend it to anyone. But basically the new seal is just about to go in. So I'm just going to clean all this up so it's nice and flush. And then we'll put the new seal in, which again, I'm not going to recommend the way I do it. So I'm just going to put the seal in. Obviously, the way you're supposed to do it is get the genuine Mercedes tool, and then basically, which is like a big socket which goes around there. But I'm just going to use wood, basically. But I'm not going to show you how to do it because I don't recommend it. So yeah, crack on. So the new rear main is in. Now, Mercedes give you this cool little cover where the seal sits on the top, and then you just put that on, push the seal over so you don't get it caught on there. Really good idea that. I like that. I've never seen that before. So basically, all the bell housing is now clean. All this is going back on, so we shall put the flywheel back on, and then time to put the gearbox in. So, long story short, gearbox is back in. The camera ran out of battery, so I didn't realise it wasn't recording, but all the exhaust is back on, the diff is back on, rear main is in. Obviously all the torque converter is all bolted up, everything is good to go. So what I've done is I've just dropped all this to see what was the state of the valve body. And the valve body is clean. I mean, obviously I've cleaned all this up, but you can see the solenoids are in much better condition, much better condition. And we've got some blue tops in there. So what I'm gonna do is I have got some, I've got to be careful because there's addresses on it. I've got some new toys in there, which is the modifications for the valve body. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put all this back in, get it running. And then what I'll do is once that's done 500 miles, 1,000 miles, I'll drop this again, change the filter because I'm not 100% sure what the mileage is on this gearbox. So we'll just get it running, do a bit of a flush, put the new switch gear in, even though the switch gear that was on that looked pretty good, but we'll just change the switch gear anyway. Yeah, so we'll put all that back together, put it back on, then put the aftermarket cooler in. So apologies, I'm not 100% sure where I left off. It's been nearly a month since the last bit I recorded. I've had a baby girl and some other stuff's happened, but I won't bore you with that. Basically, the AMG is pretty much ready to start. So what I have done, and I shall show you. So what I've done is I've put the aftermarket rad there. So I've actually used the original bracket, cut it off, and then made some brackets for it to fit. So you can see it's solid, it's not going anywhere. And then painted it black. I've painted the radiator black. Now, I don't know if you remember, but all of this was all rotten and had loads of overspray. So I've just literally taken it all off, sprayed it all so it looks a lot more presentable. Obviously, I remember showing you the, that was loose, so that's now all sorted. So now the gearbox lines, obviously I have just put all that back together. I'm not bothered putting the modifications in. I'm just going to run it. So as you can see, what I've done is this one, I couldn't actually get it to fit right with a banjo. So I've actually had to buy a M14 by 125 adapter to AN8. AN8 is probably a little bit overkill. But more fluid I can get in, the cooler it keeps. So then the other side as well, up there, I did manage to get a banjo in there. Let me get a torch. So I did actually manage to get a banjo in that side. So that is an M14 banjo to AN6. run the lines down here, through there, being careful not to hit the spindle of the steering rack, then gone over here, through there where the original ones go through, round there, up through here, then up, and then into the cooler rad. So all of that is protected by the main bracket, and we are pretty much ready to start her. So fingers crossed there is no leakage. It's taken me nearly 2 months to get to this stage, so let's start her. So I've just checked all the levels, make sure the levels are right, because obviously there's no point in looking for leaks until the levels are right, because it's got to go through the rad, it's got to work its way through. So I've almost put like 8-9 litres in, which means that rad should keep it a lot cooler because we've got a lot more fluid going in. So at the moment, let's have a look. So we've got no leaks at the moment, nothing at all. So I've got no leaks in the rad there, no leaks in the rad there. So I'm just checking, we've got no leaks there, no leaks here. But I don't think that's working, you know, but let's have a look. But got no leaks. No leaks there. No leaks. So basically, we are good. Got a little bit of an exhaust leak there. Not the end of the world. Got a bit of an oh no, no leak there. No leak there. No leak there. So I'd take that as a win. No leaks. So what I'll do is I'll just leave that for about 10-15 minutes to let it warm up. Then I've got to bleed the coolant, because obviously I've had all the coolant out. Check the oil. Before I check the oil, I'll just cycle it. So I'll put it in reverse, leave it for a couple of minutes, neutral, leave it for a couple of minutes, drive, leave it in for a couple of minutes, etc, etc. Then I'll get the old snap-on machine out, do the readaptations, check the oil again, and then we'll take it for a drive. I haven't got my seatbelt on, I'm on private land. Yeah, so I'm just gonna take her for a very, very gentle ride home. Not gonna do anything stupid, just gonna test her out, see how we get on. So far it's going through the gears all right, all the warnings have stayed out, like everything seems to be okay so far. I don't seem to have any smoke, so fingers crossed we're all good. But I shall let you know when I get home. So it's the next day, I've done about 50 odd miles, and so far so good. Oh, there's a fire engine, hang on. So yeah, I'd say she's fixed. I'm giving it some, and it's definitely seemed to have worked. So I got to be a little bit careful because it's rained all night, and I tell you what, as soon as you put a foot down, it just spins. So providing no one gets in my way, I'll give it a little blip for you to hear. Yeah, country lane, no one's about, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. So let's plant it. I just love the noise of this thing. So it is a little bit damp, and all that seems to happen is it spins up. So the next video we need to get the boot fixed because the boot doesn't open, the folding mirrors don't work, there's a rattle coming from underneath. So there's a few bits and pieces that we need to do. We need to do the roof lining, we need to service it, we need to do spark plugs, we need loads to do. So yeah, if you like that video, then please like, subscribe, comment, it's very much appreciated. I haven't really gone into too much detail at the moment, but I've had to start a new channel, which has been a ball ache. So this is the first video that has landed since I've had to put all my old content in. So apologies for all the people that watch every week, but unfortunately I've had to do it. I've had no choice. So yeah, thank you very much for bearing with me. But everything will be back to normal. We'll be doing a video every Sunday. Yeah, so again, apologies, but if you want to know more, then comment below, because I'm sure most people don't want to know about it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to press the buttons.